Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we're going to make this very pretty Christmas card, which is using one stamp set, which is the Waterfront, and we're using two colours. It's a one layer card and is very simple to achieve. So let me show you how we're going to do this. First of all, we need two colours, which is Cherry Cobbler and Night of Navy, the Waterfront stamp set, and we're going to start with a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which measures 5.5 inches by, 5.25 inches, no, 5.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So that's the piece we're going to start with. And from the Waterfront, we are going to take out the, let me get the little pieces, we're going to take out the tree. And that's the only piece that we're using from this. So those little cluster of 3 trees, which are a watercolour tree, but they look absolutely beautiful. Now we are going to take a scrap of, and I use copy paper because it's nice and thin, and it means that when you stamp over it, you don't get that little ridge where the stamp doesn't come out. And you're literally just going to tear this in half. So it doesn't need to be sort of too mountainous, just literally tear the piece in half so you've got a nice long piece to work with, like that. Okay, and we want this piece, and we're going to start at the top and just put it at a slight angle. Now we need some sponge daubers, so I have got a red for the Cherry Cobbler and I've got a blue for the Night of Navy. And we are going to start with the Night of Navy. So let me open both of these up. So we've got Night of Navy and we've got Cherry Cobbler. And what we need to do is we need to stroke upwards. So literally stroking motions upwards like this. Just bring it down a bit so you can see. So you're literally just doing some stroking motions upwards. And then we're going to take the red, and you don't want a huge amount of this, so you can stamp it off. What I mean is that you don't want the colour to be too deep. So you're just literally, with a Cherry Cobbler, just brushing it upwards. Like that. Then we are going to take the tree, and in the Night of Navy, we're going to ink that up well. And we are then going to just stamp it so that just the top of the tree is going to show. And just take it across the paper like that. You can stamp it on and stamp it off, so you get a little bit of sort of variation of the tree, like that. And then we're going to pick it up. And then we are going to move it down, and this time we'll have a snowy ridge sort of, yes, we'll do them all sort of about the same. Maybe shall I? No, I'm going to have one that sort of angle, not too deep, but just at this angle now. So again, taking the Night of Navy and literally just brushing it upwards, because you don't want it to go right the way onto the white part here. So it just gives that sort of snowy feel without it being too much. And literally I'm just stroking it up in sort of brush strokes upwards, and then a little bit of the Cherry Cobbler. You can dab it off so the colour isn't too strong, and you can always add a little bit more if you want to. But what you're wanting to do is to get that really just little bit of definition where the trees come. And then we're going to ink it up again in the Night of Navy, and we're going to put the next lot of trees just a little bit higher. So one on, one off, one on, one off, a little one off that side. Okay, now we're going to bring it down again, and this time we're going to have it just about there on the centre. do exactly the same thing, so sweeping it upwards. As I say, it's quite a quick card to do, and has a lovely effect, but is very simple as well. It's something that, as I say, makes a lovely Christmas card, which again, if we're in a hurry, which at this time of year we do tend to get in a little bit more of a hurry. Now this one, we can have this just a little bit higher up, and as I say, it doesn't matter if you're going left to right, right to left. What you're wanting to do is to just stamp the trees down nicely and just bring them across as you go. Little bit of definition in there and bring that off, and then right down at the bottom. So we've now got 3, and then the bottom layer, we're going to take it literally from the bottom. Now this time I tend to turn the paper sideways so I can get it right from the bottom of the paper, and again just those little sweeping strokes upwards, because as I say, you're not wanting to create too much colour on there. You're just having a little bit of background texture and colour, and it's supposed to be nice and subtle. So again, let's do the pink one as well, or the cherry cobbler, which gives that sort of purpley tones, almost sort of what do they call it, the aurora borealis or something like that, but as I say, it gives a lovely sort of tone. Now I'm just going to take my rag and clean this off. I've laminated a piece of the grid paper because I find it easier to work on, and this is just my laminator is only an A4, so I work it just on there, and it just keeps my surface a little bit cleaner, particularly when we're doing this sort of stuff. Now the bottom one, we want the trees to come again quite sort of straight, so putting them up one over each other. You can take some off. And then a little one like that. Okay, so that's given us the lovely tree in the snow effect. And then we're going to take a sentiment from the Feathers and Frost, because I really like this Season's Greetings. And so we are going to, let's find this one, Season's Greetings, and we want to mount that on a slightly longer block. So let me get my blocks out. This one was mounted on our B block, and this one is going to be on our, which is the long one, or the smaller of the long ones, which is our H block. I love the fact that all our blocks, you have one which will fit absolutely everything. So again, because it's photopolymer, you don't have to worry too much about lining it up. And then this, we are going to ink in the Night of Navy again. So give it a good tap on there and ink up so that it's nice and inked. And we're going to put the Season's Greeting in the space on the snow here. So lining it up as best as you can. Hopefully my head didn't just creep into the camera. Press it down. If you hold it just for a few seconds, it allows the ink to soak into the paper, and as long as you don't move it too much, you won't get the halos. Take it up, and we've got the lovely Season's Greetings on there. So you now have a really pretty card, which, as I say, hasn't taken too long to do and gives an absolutely lovely effect. So if I put this one on, I would just put it on a white card base because I want it to be just the one layer and to look really beautiful. Now on this one, you can probably see that I've got a little bit of sparkle on there. You can use Wink of Stella, or you can use, I actually use some of this, which is a bit of contraband glitter glue. You can use Tombow and our Dazzling Diamonds, and all I'm going to do on here is to just literally just run a few lines. So let's make sure the glue's coming out, don't want it to be too thick, and I'm just running just a few little lines of glitter up on here, which just adds a little bit of sparkle without it being over the top. And for all of us who are posting cards abroad and we want things that haven't got too many layers, there's too many embellishments and things like that, this is an ideal card to use for this, because you can actually do it straight onto your card base if you wanted to. You don't even have to do this this added layer. So it gives you a lot of scope for, as I say, cards that have to be mailed overseas, which I know quite a lot of us send cards. I actually posted yesterday 25 cards overseas for various family and friends and people like that. So so as I say, just a little bit of sparkle on there just adds just a little bit. And I'll put this one back on here for you so you can see it. But as you can see, it's quite an easy card, but it is incredibly effective. So there we are. A nice project for today. Thank you so much for watching me, and do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.